Hey guys, this is RolloutReviews with RolloutReviews doing another casual unboxing. This time it's an action figure. This is a new line by Kotobukiya called ZOIDS Aggressive. They're making 1:100 scale ZOIDS action figures rather than model kits. This is ZA001 Murasame Liger from ZOIDS Genesis. ZOIDS Genesis is one of my favorite ZOIDS series, if not my favorite ZOIDS series ever. I absolutely love it. I kind of go back and forth between like the gritty wartime realism of Genesis and kind of the fun competition battles of New Century Zero, but hands down, Murasame Liger is one of my favorite Zoid designs ever. I almost like it more than Liger Zero, honestly. I really hope they make a Liger Zero in this line, but so far, they've announced, of course, this guy, Hayate Liger, which is this guy's second form, and I'm sure they're going to make a Mugen Liger, which is his final form, and then they're probably making some stuff from Chaotic Century, but nothing for New Century Zero as far as we know at the moment. But like I said, I really hope they do. Now, this is a really impressive box. It's very shiny. There's kind of a brushed metal look going on here. You can sort of see me there in the reflection. It is massive. Like, absolutely massive. Look at the toy inside there. And look how big the box is. I don't know, maybe they packaged it this way to better protect, like, his little fins on his mane or something. Just a bunch of blurb at the bottom. Kotobukiya, Takara Tomy. Bunch of warnings there. But yeah, this guy looks super awesome. So let's jump right into it. It looks like there's just a single piece of tape right here. I've never gotten any Kotobukiya action figures. I do have the high-end master model Liger Zero, and we'll do a comparison with that here at the end of this. I also do want to compare this to the Lego Murasame Liger I made a couple years ago as well, so that should be fun for anybody who might want to see that. Ooh, that's kind of neat. On the inside of the flap, it has like the etchings that are on his Murasame blade. It has been a while since I've watched ZOIDS Genesis. Now that I have this, I might want to go back and rewatch it again. That would be fun. But yeah, forgive me if I don't correctly name all of the terminology for everything this guy has on him, but we're just going to be, taking a look at the toy at a casual pace like we do. Where did I put my knife? I put it over here. There's the instructions on the side here. We'll take a quick look at those. Just so that we don't break anything. Yeah, like I said, I don't have any Kotobukiya action figures, so I don't really know what to expect as far as quality goes, but this was, a fairly spendy action figure, so I assume it's got a pretty decent quality to it. I'm just glad, we're starting to get more articulate Zoids in the last several years. They used to just be like motorized model kits for the most part that didn't have a whole lot of movement, but yeah, with the high-end master model kits and now this new line, which I'm really looking forward to see where they go with this. We're getting some actual highly posable Zoids, and I absolutely love that. So yeah, Murasame Liger's thing is he's got like a giant sword on his back that can swivel and rotate around. And he's like a samurai lion tiger. That's what a Liger is, a lion tiger. Which is weird because I think they do have. There are definitely tigers, or at least like leopards, in Zoids, but for some reason, I don't think there's any lions. They're all Ligers. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me. All right. So, I really like the scale for this. I feel like, 1:72 scale that the most of the high-end master models are set at might be a little bit too big, and I just like the 1:100 scale in general. The metal build Gundams that I have are 1:100 scale, and I just like that size. I don't know, and I'm glad that this guy and all of the other ZOIDS aggressive releases they're going to have in the future will be 1:100 scale, so it'll all match. Even though it's cross-platforming Gundam between ZOIDS, I just like the idea that everything is the size it should be in relation to everything else. I have no idea what scale Soul of Chogokin Gaogaigar is. That's on the shelf with my metal builds, and the shelf that this guy's going to be on. I really have no idea what scale that is. I assume it's probably a little bit bigger than 1:100 scale, but I can't be sure. But if it isn't, then that would be probably the only thing on my big shelf with all my expensive fancy toys that isn't in scale with everything else. Of course, I think SH Figuarts are like 1:12 scale, so 1:100 scale for those would be absolutely tiny, but that's beside the point. Anyway, so let's see. Here's his tail, obviously, and it's got a wire in it. We'll take a look at that here in just a second. This, I believe, is a cover. Oh, there's a little plastic thing to keep his legs all together. That's neat. He's kind of covered in plastic here for a second. Anyway, let me just take a look at the smaller stuff first. I believe this is something that allows him to attach to a stand. Although I could be wrong. It's really in there. Okay. Well, I don't really want to lose it, so if I need it, we'll deal with that. If you ordered this through... If you, pre-ordered this through the Kotobukiya website, you did get a special stand that had the Murasame kanji on it in a nice translucent blue, and that looks really cool. I have no idea how I was supposed to get that here in the States. I probably would have to find a middleman or something for it, but it's not really something I need. I mean, I have a bunch of Tamashii stages that will probably work for this. I mean, it's Kotobukiya, but I think they have the same style ports and everything. I could be completely wrong there, though, and in that case, we'll have a problem. Anyway, ooh, there's a twist tie here. I haven't seen a twist, a bona fide twist tie on a toy in a while. I mean, they have, on Transformers now, I think they have, those, kind of weird papery cardboard twist ties, but yeah, actual metal twist ties I haven't seen, and I certainly haven't seen them on any of my fancy Japanese toys because they usually don't have twist ties or anything in them, but I guess this was an exception just to keep it all together here. Okie doke. And there we go. So there is our friend. I am going to actually take this out. I'm just going to be really careful not to lose it here. See what that's all about here in a second. So, get all the packaging and plastic out of the way. Take the plastic off of the sword there. Nice silver. And here, excuse me, is Murasame Liger. So let's attach this. Does it matter which way it goes? Let me get the lights moved a little bit here so that you can kind of see things a little bit better. Let's see. I don't think it matters which way it goes. I believe it's symmetrical and others. Oh, although no, it's got two little notches here and placed notches there. So I'm assuming it goes this way in that case. He's got this little rail that attaches a sword to his back. Giant robot cat with the samurai sword strapped to its back. That is just all kinds of awesome to me. Let's see, right out of the package, there is a little bit of splitting there between the parts. That's fine. Is it though? I mean, or is that how it's supposed to be? Is that like a seam line maybe? I don't know. The plastic feels fine. It doesn't feel like quite as good as something on a figure art and first impressions here, but it is good. Again, there is lots of joints here. I'll kind of go over the articulation here in a second, but just kind of feeling the quality of everything. This is a new action figure line, so I don't really know what to expect. Oh, hey, we should probably put his tail in here. As you can see, there is a metal wire in there, and the tail can bend a bit. It's got some blades and like some guns on there. Oh, and let's actually figure out what this little tiny piece here is as well. Anyway, let's just put this tail on there. Hopefully that stays in well enough. No, because he does have a... Maybe you replace it. Okay, so there is a little thing here, and you can get in there with a screwdriver, I bet. I don't have one on hand, unfortunately. But yeah, that comes out, and I believe the idea is that you can see the molding there is similar. You're supposed to replace that there, and that lets you attach him to a stand with this little port on the bottom. And I'm still unsure if Atomic Stage will work for that, but I guess I'll find out later. It'll be nice to have him like up on a stand doing jumps and things. Anyway, here's the sword. The aforementioned sword. It's got some really nice detail on the etchings there, just like on the flap on the box. And this comes out here. It can come around. It can also extend a little bit and also slide on this little rail. So that, and rotate, of course, so that he can have the sword out to the side here and run past people and slash them, which is just awesome. There's also a ball joint at the end of it, I believe. Or is it a ball joint? No, it's just like a pin swivel here. This comes off. Or a pin disc kind of little joint there, I believe. And then it just kind of plugs on here. And yeah, that works pretty well. Seems like so far. Can, just kind of store on his back like this. Oop, don't want to... There's lots of sharp and pointy things going on here, so I don't want to dull anything. Here's the head sculpt. Really nice. He's got translucent orange eyes, looks like. The cockpit actually opens here. That's kind of an advertised feature, which is very cool. Especially like on this scale. The high-end master model Liger Zero I have, the cockpit opens but not accurately to the show, and that's a little disappointing, but I believe this is relatively accurate. The mouth opens here. You got a little bit of movement on the bottom main there. Any movement at the top section? Doesn't look like it. Looks like all of this section's fixed to the cockpit, which is fine. Any of these move? No. See, I'm a little cautious because, well, of course I don't want to break anything, but I also just want to know how much exactly I can move the head around without ruining anything. It seems like there's several joints in the neck, and they're all segmented in there, but just because of the mane, it doesn't seem like you can move it left to right too much because of Murasame Liger's shoulders here. That's actually a problem I ran into on... the Lego model that I built. So I just made it so his neck didn't move side to side at all, really, to get around that. Ball joints and a double hinge, it looks like, in the shoulders, so the legs can kind of come down here, so they can get out much, much further. Any rotation or anything up here? It doesn't look like it. You have a couple of joints in the elbow. It looks like the armor on this one here limits the articulation a bit, but that's fine. Can it move or anything? Is there any engineering to make armor panels move out of the way? It doesn't really look like it. One thing worth mentioning is that the little hydraulic caps that all the Zoids have. They are red, and I believe in the show Murasame Ligers were orange, but the blue was also a little bit different. They released a special version of this figure with like the Blu-ray box set for like a Blu-ray remaster of Zoids Genesis, and it was like anime color accurate, but that's very, very expensive, so I didn't get that. Ball joints in the claw here. This is just like yellow paint. The application seems fine. It is kind of a shiny yellow there. He does have these little support strut things. I don't know. You know, he runs around and he has these, and then like if he's guarding an attack with his sword or something, he's getting hit, he can put these like jacks that extend out into the ground, and they, you know, keep him in place. If he's, like I said, if he's getting hit, or I don't know, his name is Murasame Liger. If the wind picks up or something, that'll keep him in place too, I suppose. So he's got these little like stakes on the bottom of his arm. He's kind of like a, I don't know, Assassin's Creed Liger. Back legs here, I believe it's the same deal going on in the hip here. You got a double joint up here, so that's nice. How far can that move? Yeah. You got a little like piston detail there, but it doesn't actually do anything. And then you have a single joint here at the digitigrade leg there, and then another ball joint and a hinge. Actually, this has a hinge and a ball joint. So you can do all kinds of things with the articulation there. The waist, multitude of ball joints here, I believe. Are they ball joints or just hinges? I mean, it does this. Can it rotate at all? No. It can go up and down a little bit, though. Of course, this whole assembly does limit the articulation a fair bit there. But yeah, overall, I mean, I am pretty satisfied with the quality of this and the articulation. I mean, a Zoid is always something that's a little bit trickier to play with, a little bit trickier to pose compared to something like a Figuart that's like humanoid. Because obviously, being a humanoid myself, I sort of have more experience in you know, knowing how to pose it properly and knowing how to get around the edges of like the armor because of the way it would conform on an actual human body. But here, like, you have these spiky main sections that just sort of get in the way. You have, you know, the four limbs you have to deal with and make them sort of look natural in ways that you're not used to. Oh, by the way, it does have like a little cannon below here. It doesn't seem to move at all, though. It's like a triple-barreled cannon. I don't think it's actually supposed to rotate. I believe it should go up and down, maybe, but I could be completely wrong there. But there's that as well. Anyway, there is Murasame Liger. Very, very cool Zoid design. Very, very cool robot design. I just love the way this guy looks. Let's bring the camera down here. I'm going to do a quick jump cut, and then we're going to do some comparisons finally. Alright, so here we are back with our friend Murasame Liger, and let's get to some comparisons. So first, here he is with the high-end master model Liger Zero, which is a model kit. It's also 1:72 scale, whereas this guy is 1:100 scale. So he is a fair bit smaller, of course. I actually like this scale a lot better, like I said. As I mentioned earlier, I just think 1:72, while it's impressive and you can fit in a lot of detail in here, it just feels a little bit big. Like, the unwieldiness of a Liger's design to begin with the four legs and all of the, you know, spikes for the mane and everything, it becomes even more apparent once they're, you know, this big. And I find it's a little bit tricky to deal with this guy. Also, getting him on a stand is kind of a nightmare, both finding a stand large enough and finding room for that. So, if they do make a Liger Zero in the Zoids Aggressive line, which I'm really crossing my fingers for, I'll probably just sell this guy just to make room in my collection. But I think it'll be worth it because a 1/100 scale, fancy action figure Liger Zero would be right up my alley. I would absolutely love that. I'm still unsure if I'm going to get the Hayate and the probable, eventual Mugen Liger, but we'll see about that. We just saw the Hayate Liger, and it does look pretty cool, but I'm just not as big of a fan of the Hayate design. Anyway, finally, here is the new action figure with the Lego version of the Zoid that I made several years ago. And I've been waiting years to do something like this. The reason I built this in the first place is because there weren't really any adequate Murasame Liger action figures out there. And so, I sort of just built my own. But now that there's an actual a fancy action figure, here we go. Here we have them together. And I am really impressed at how closely scaled these two are. They're almost the same size. This one is a little bit smaller, but I think that can just be explained by the sleekness of the design that I couldn't really capture with blocky bricks. And this one is a little bit more heavy just because of the density of Lego as opposed to the plastic used in this, but they are shockingly similar in size, and that really impresses me, maybe a lot more than it should. But yeah, they've both got the swords, and the colors are fairly accurate here, which is in turn a little bit inaccurate to the show. As I mentioned earlier, I did decide to use the orange hydraulic caps there instead of the red used over here. Excuse me once again. But yeah, there you go. There is my Lego Murasame Liger with the actual action figure of it. And they look really, really good together. Like I said, this impresses me a lot more than it should. Anyway, if you'd like to see the original video for this guy on my first channel, you can go check that out. I'll put a link in the description. I did make a couple of changes since then to this current model you see here. Also, it was made several years ago. The quality isn't as great, but I do hope you enjoy that if you are at all interested. But yeah, until then, there is the Zoids Aggressive Murasame Liger. I am really looking forward to see where this line goes, because this figure is pretty awesome. So that is about it, guys, and this is IX Roll at IX, signing off.